All right, Virgo, this one is for you. That's you, Virgo, over here. This is Tarot Lumination. This is your love and relationship report for December 2017. You know the drill. You've done it before. Uh, Cards are well shuffled in advance. We're shuffling to the very last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals, none of it. Trying to keep it really short and sweet and simple. Just telling a story, broad energy. Did I say this already? Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Of course, you know the drill, and there's reasons why we do this. It's a protocol more than anything else. So, Virgo, you might be aware, of course, that Neptune has been in your 7th house of relationships for years now. And probably got another 7 years to go or whatever. It's the long haul. And, you know, wherever Neptune goes, it idealizes and it dissolves. And you choose. So a lot of people are not talking about it on the channels of any way in kind of shape or form because it's such nebulous energy. It's such hard energy to understand. Neptune in the 7th house. Figure that one out. Okay, anyway, there's lots of other stuff going on too. You got Jupiter and Scorpio doing that big transformational healing thing, going through your whatever house it is. I forgot. Sorry. I could figure it out. Maybe I'll remember it later. But it's very compatible with you in that it's in your 3rd house. Excuse me. Sorry. I got a little distracted there. Forgive me, Virgo. About communications. So look for serious opportunities and growth and healing in the world of your communications. Listening, speaking, understanding, teaching and learning. Everyday connections with friends, family, co-workers, and all of that kind of stuff. So, also, by the way, Virgo, your ruling planet Mercury is going retrograde through December. So, you know, make the best of it. Don't see it as a problem. See it as a chance to review, refine, replay, reevaluate, reassess yourself, especially in communications. Go figure. What else is going on? Let's leave it at that for now. We talked enough. Let's just get straight into it and see what happens for you. We're going to cut in just a second here. Oh, yeah, the big change coming up. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Saturn is moving into Capricorn, all right? So that's very nice for you because it's very compatible energy. So it is happening in your 5th house of love and romance and creativity and things. So it might be a little bit of a serious feel there, like reality checks of what's actually going on in the world of love and relationship and romance. But it's very, again, very supportive, very harmonious energy for you. So please, please make the best of it. All right, we are shuffled enough and I talked way too much. Sorry about that. Here we go. Let's just do it. All right, here we go. Really break up that deck. Okay, and then we're just gonna go for it. Now you understand, Virgo, this is what we do here at Tarot Lumination. There's you. There's the significant other, a chosen relationship. Not just like random hookups. Then there's deep inside of you, deep inside the other, and then there's the relationship itself, okay? This is we do these readings on the understanding that from the higher perspective, there's yourself, there's the other, and then there's the relationship itself, and the relationship has its own significance, identity, integrity, and energy. This is the momentum, where things going, and you can see a crucible shape here. I think of this as a crucible spread. And in a really healthy, loving relationship, both parties invest in the relationship and maintain the relationship. Okay, underneath we've got the, call it the weather, circumstantial energy, and you're going to make the best of that, okay? You've got the... No, lucky Virgo. You got the 10 of Cups here. So this is an indication of, let's just say, potential. It's such a beautiful card to have here. I just don't want to get carried away with it because this reading isn't going to, you know, hit perfect for everybody. There's a lot of folks out there who watch these, and it might sound like nonsense to some of you. Some of you might be having a really, really hard time. And then to indicate here is the Ten of Cups might make you feel like, what? What the heck do they know at Tarot Illumination? But anyway, we do our best. Okay, with the Ten of Cups here, this is circumstantial energy. All it's saying here, my feeling is, because I work, this is going to sound like really wooey, but I work with angels, and they work very closely with me. So I would like to think of this as an angelic presence where if you keep your eyes open, make the best of the situation, look at the bigger picture, like literally look at the weather around you. And even if it's pretty crappy, always remember that there's the sun behind the clouds, so to speak, and it's always beautiful at some point somewhere. And this is also the indication that there's a chance for true happiness here, not just thrills or excitements or a little bit of a fling. This is like legacy happiness. This is the kind of love and the happiness that endures, that shares. It's like the happy families card. It's the energy of coming together in union, in deep union, where the evidence of love and happiness is evident, and it can be shared, and it radiates out of you, out of the other, out of the relationship itself, into your surroundings. Let's have a look at you, Virgo. Wow, well, you obviously have the best of intentions with the Knight of Cups here. Me, as your reader, Tarot Illumination feels it's to do with, my feeling is it's very subtle. It's something to do with removing yourself step by step, by tiny step, from the things that you know are not working. Okay, and instead refocusing your energy on what works. In other words, energy flows where attention goes. And if you, as a very logical, practical, effective, determined, capable Virgo, have figured that out, and you realize, why focus on the problems? Because you just keep piling energy into that. Let's focus on solutions here. I know I'm sounding like some kind of like pep talk coach, life coach thing, but seriously, energy flows where attention goes. And so if you've come to a realization that, if you want to get involved in all the conflicts and the niggly details and all the things that are not working, which is very easy for you to do, Virgo, because you're so extremely picky and aware of the details of things and what doesn't work, because that's really one of your gifts, is like filtering and refining and purifying in order to get to what does work for people. And that's why people love you so much and take advantage of you so much, because you're so good at that stuff naturally. And it's just that sometimes you can get lost in the muck, so to speak. You get lost in the problems. And so in December, we've got this, full moon Gemini Sagittarius thing going on, which is theoretically conflicting towards you. And then the new moon Sagittarius coming in at the end of the month, December, full on conflict, a hard square angle. It could really put you through your paces, where it's like it can really shake you up and rattle you up in terms of like romantic energy, like, wow, I really need to get away from what doesn't work and focus on what does work. That means removing yourself from the battle fronts and the war planes and the landmines and the tendency for people to moan and groan and complain about this or that, and focus on what works. Bring in the love. Like just say, I'm sick of it. I'm coming home. I want love. I'm bringing love. I want love. Thank you very much. And what's the other going on with? What they up to? Oh, some people think of this as a marriage card. Okay, so we'll just say it anyway, just for fun. It's very much to do with, let's say, an open declaration of love in a way where, Virgo, you might be relating with someone who totally gets you and understands you in the way that Tarot Illumination just described here. And that's a big turn on for them, to the point where they would think like, I really wouldn't mind hooking up with you properly. We don't just have to be dating or maybe living together or considering like, happy families and all that and talking about it, and thinking and smelling and feeling and sensing the potential. They might be thinking, let's lock this down. Put a ring on it. Let's declare. Let's put this out there. Let's get engaged. Let's make it official, people. You know, a lot of couples and people these days are sort of like, they give themselves a lot of wiggle room. They think, well, what's the point of getting married? We're always living together. We've got this together. We got that together. You know, and anyway, marriages fall apart. So why impose a marriage on top of something that already maybe is working really well or kind of well? Well, it does make a huge difference because a marriage is a legal contract, and it's a formal declaration in public that one party is devoting themselves to another party, and it's official and it's binding, and there are consequences in three dimensions in that area. So, you know, I'm really happy for you, Virgo, in that regard, because it looks like your intentions are really sweet and wholesome and good. And you do have the awareness that you can climb above and out of the muck and get into something that is, like, say, you know, very simple, clear, defined, and formal. Like, I love you. I love you very much. I am your potential significant other here, and we've already got a lot going on. And I wouldn't mind putting a ring on it if you don't mind. Thank you very much, and declaring this to the whole world. And if that's a problem, we need to, you know, sort things out, okay? Because it's always a big deal when somebody wants to get to that point where you're going beyond sleeping together, living together, dating, hanging out, being each other's half, so to speak, and then declaring it formally in public in the form of like an engagement or just telling everybody we are officially a couple. That's a really kind of a big deal, okay, Virgo? So you might be dealing with a significant other who has that in mind. They might really have their sights set on you, Virgo, as marriage material. In other words, there's you being your lovely Virgo, just being who you are. And here's all this lovely circumstantial energy indicating that you're probably in the right place at the right time with the right reason, with the right person. And they get it. And they're kind of looking at you going, kind of thing, you know. I know I'm dramatizing this and making it sound like it comes out of a romance novel, but I'm serious, you know. There is such a thing as good old-fashioned love where, you know, you can end up being that funny little old couple sitting at a bus stop holding hands together, and you look like a couple little fuddy-duddies, and everyone else is looking at you, and they're really jealous because they're thinking, how did that old couple do it? Look at them. They're absolutely in love with each other, and they're falling apart. Their clothes are in rags. They look like they haven't had a meal, but they are absolutely in love with each other. End of the fairy tale. But it's not a fairy tale. It's an idealization. It's beautiful. It's like Neptune in Pisces in your seventh house, activated at the highest levels, where we're talking devotion. We're talking the level of devotion here, not just like, hey, you're cool, you're hot. We have a great, passionate life, and my family fits yours, your family fits mine. It's obvious we should get, you know, hitched up here. It's more than that. This is like, my feeling is almost like divinely blessed. That kind of energy. I mean, look at it. It's hard not to ignore that. It's hard to ignore that. Excuse me. Sorry. So let's have a look deep down in the other. Virgo, what is going on with you? Maybe deep down you're aware of what we just talked about here, but deep down it's like there's another part of you which is very sweet and very innocent, which is kind of admitting to yourself like, gulp, I don't really know what's going on here. I get it. I totally get it. It's just that it's maybe freaking me out a little bit, and it's taking me right to the very edge of the precipice of my own evolution, and that's what I've always dreamed of, and this is what I've always wanted, except that it's absolutely terrifying because I'm walking right on the tippy edge, but at the same time, there's the energy of the fool. Well, that's what we're always doing all the time anyway, depending on your boldness and your decision-making courage. So people who really, really, truly live in the moment, They really compress that energy of now into the moment where there is almost no sense of the past, no sense of the future, and they are living always in the moment. And it's in that moment where you make your loving decisions in the most pure and profound way, as opposed to standing back and calculating your relationship, how to manage it as a as something to be exploited. No, this is something much more pure, much more simple, much more beautiful, much more profound. And somehow or other, Virgo, you know it and you're going for it, even if you don't necessarily know the details and the directions, which is a big problem for Virgo because you love to know the details and just mapping everything out the way it should work. You're like being a really good co-pilot, you know? What about the other? Well, with the Ace of Swords here, it's just like kerblam. Yeah, about time. Thank you very much. This significant other here may really feel as though they've scored with you, Virgo. And it's like, yeah, finally, we can like live authentically, live in truth, live in honesty, live in open declaration, and make the best of it and reach higher levels of wisdom, consciousness, and understanding in ourselves and each other in the context of this very deeply loving relationship dynamic going on here. It is an opportunity, and it is their opportunity, and they see it and they get it. And the Ace of Swords here indicates that they have every intention of making the absolute best of this relationship, not just what can they get out of you. And it's obvious that you're not just trying to get what you can out of them. You're just coming in with pure love. It's just pure, undiluted, highly distilled, 100% proof love. And they get it. They're going, yeah, score, baby. And they're going like, wow, this is actually serious. This is the real thing. So it's a little bit daunting. Their energy, the Ace of Swords here, in their own way, it's just as daunting and scary and weird and beautiful and frightening for them to have this amazing new opportunity as it is for you in your own way. Okay? So where does it take us here? What about the relationship itself? This could be completely different. Let's have a look. Bammo! I don't know why I'm having so much fun with this reading, Virgo, but a simplistic approach would be to say, well, this is fated. Okay, there's something above and beyond you, Virgo, or above and beyond this significant other that is going on in this relationship. Okay, that's what I'm sensing here. With this energy going on, circumstantial in the background, this is almost like the angelic presence of really a beautiful, loving, potential relationship dynamic going on here. Sure, yeah, December might be very, very choppy and weird for you, Virgo, with the Saturn and Sagittarius shift, the Gemini Sagittarius full moon, and then this Sagittarius new moon. Those are just bits of it, okay? And then Neptune's still there, hovering in your 7th house, all of that. But there's something beautiful, magical here, above and beyond like a 3-dimensional relationship. There's something 5D here, 7D here, and it's absolutely beautiful to the point where it's like, this feels like it's fated. Thank you very much. And it's very, very possible that if you guys had a really, really healthy heart-to-heart conversation, you would probably agree, like, you know what I'm sensing here, honey? I know we've been kind of building up to this, and it's really awesome. And in the old-fashioned sense, I say, I love you. Let's get married. Will you marry me? And you go, Virgo, like, you know what? Maybe we should talk about this stuff because I feel all this love. And it's obvious that all this love is there. It's in you. It's in me. It's in us. What do we do about it? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I've never been here before. How many times have you been married? And it's just like, I don't know. I've never kind of dealt with this before. I mean, I feel like a complete idiot at times about what's happening. I don't get it, but I know something's happening and it's beautiful. And they're saying like, well, I get it too. And I see it as an opportunity of living out our life and our truth and our authenticity as a couple. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go for it. Okay. And then you say, wow, that's amazing. And then you look at each other and kind of go, you know what? It's fated. We're fated to be together. And with the Wheel of Fortune here, it can also indicate that You're very much aware that you are placing yourself in a crucible that is like divinely blessed here to withstand the absolute ultimate intense pressures of what happened in relationships, uh, in order to endure the intimacy and the separation and all the alchemical processes and changes and evolutionary growth that happens inside a relationship once you enter a committed relationship, like, like we're dating, or we're getting engaged, or we're getting married, that kind of energy, and it's official. And then what on earth do we do now? Because it's one thing getting married, and then it's the next thing is living inside the marriage. Then you go in deep into the world of intimacy, okay? And that can really freak people out. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, it's also, we have to add, it's the understanding that all the elements of nature, as we understand them, earth, air, fire, water, whatever you want to call the elements, they are all ultimately working for you, Virgo, and the relationship, and because of this harmony here, for the other party as well. So it's very, very synchronous. And it looks like there's a very, very strong crucible structure here, which is able to withstand this thing that you guys own here. And so that's very beautiful, because even though it's also beautiful, you're still a human being, they're still a human being, and there are going to be times of intimacy and separation where all of this energy of becoming as one and then becoming as one, it happens on the understanding that you're still individuals, okay? You are you, Virgo, they are themselves, and yet you have this beautiful thing that 99% of the world may never ever have a chance of even getting a taste. But you got it, Virgo. So let's just see where it takes us. Just curiosity. Okay. I see this as peace. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful new horizons that can open up for you by being willing to consciously and deliberately, with the feedback. And remember, this is your reading, Virgo. It's not a couple's reading. This person is not here in the room. This is you watching your video. You can cross-watch with this person later if you want. That's what they call it now, cross-watching, apparently. So you can do that. And what I'm sensing here is that the other party, the significant other, is very, very aware of, let's say, the potentials, the new horizons here, the new opportunities, ways to live in ways that perhaps aren't even defined yet, but they are there. In other words, leaving behind perhaps decades or lifetimes of things that didn't work, perhaps trauma, poor choices, infidelities, or being with the wrong partner, wrong time, wrong, lifestyle thing. And then realizing somehow or other you figured it out in this particular lifetime, in this particular month, in this particular reading, and it's time to go for it. Grab what works. If you're going on a really significant journey and there's very limited resources, you're only going to take what's really most valuable to you, a lot of which is to do with attitudes, perceptions, understandings, beliefs, behaviors, because in a truly, truly loving relationship, it's all about the things that really, really count. And they can be defined in words, words over here, like respect, consideration, affection, compassion, patience, understanding, companionship, all of those things. Trust is very, very big. And you have something beautiful, and it's out there somewhere in the unknown. And you know that, Virgo. They see it because they're living in the opportunity of now, but it's there, and it's very beautiful for you, Virgo. I'm going to stop talking now. You can reinterpret it however you want, okay? But to me, it's beautiful. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and you can write your own story, watch your sun, moon rising and all of that, and just figure it out, okay? All right. Good luck. Bye. And happy holiday. Happy holiday. Bye.